welcome back to what was I about to say? CSH Productions was the original name of this channel, but the full name is Caleb S. Holmberg. That's right, my middle name is S. I do not have a middle name other than the letter S. This video is kind of being made in a sort of transition stage for this channel. That being, we are about approximately 2 subscribers away from 30 subscribers, and really excited about that, you know? So if you subscribe, then you're gonna see something very, very special in the next video. If we hit 30 subscribers, things are gonna get interesting, tell you what. Anyway, today I've got another Nintendo Switch controller to show you guys. I was looking for another option to use for the multiplayer games that I like to play so much with my comrades. This is the Ralthy wireless controller. Wireless Pro game controller. You see that? Just to be specific, it is a wireless Pro game controller. Anyway, this is Ralthy. I have not really heard anything about this brand. I think it's just another one of those little brands that just make controllers. I think there's multiple. I think I did the video, boy, which it was the Mayador N64 controller, sort of like that. I believe this is the identical controllers to these are made by multiple different companies. But this one looks kind of cool. It looks like it's got kind of a sleek, futuristic design. So I'm going to take a look at it. This is the unboxing. So without further ado, let me adjust the old camera and crack open a Zevia 0 Calorie Cherry Cola, and let's get right into it. Okay, so looking at the box, nothing really fancy here. Connect to a SWH console. I don't really know what an SWH. I know. Never mind. That joke was going nowhere. For the first time, power on, blah blah blah. Okay, so the instructions are basically on the back of the box. That's interesting. Okay, so it says Windows PC. Also support Windows PC. You see that? So there is that. I might end up trying that. If it works, I will show you guys. If not, I will just have a note later in the video saying that I couldn't get it to work with my Windows PC. So yeah, just but that's later on. Let's open this box up, and we'll see how well this thing holds up. I've only done one Switch, no, two Switch controllers I've done in the past. There was that Hori split pad, the Joy-Con type grips for the Switch, and also the what was it called? Gaichi, I think, was the name of the brand of that controller. That one is my personal favorite of the, let's see, of the 4 controllers, well, 5 including this, that I now possess. But we'll see what this controller is all about. So nothing too fancy packaging wise, no sort of plastic or anything like that, just bubble wrap. I mean, nothing wrong with that as long as it's not scratched, didn't get scratched in shipping. Got some paraphernalia here. Wireless Pro. This is the instruction manual. Maybe look at that later. Who knows? We got nice Amazon gift card. I got this off of eBay, so I don't know. Yeah, usually these things don't actually work. So be advised that if you get one of these with a controller, it's probably not gonna. It's not really that what it is. I might try it. I don't know. If they ask for my social security number, like the, you know, some people might ask you for the 3 crazy numbers on the back of your credit card and the expiration month and year. That's a red flag right there. You don't wanna do that. We learned that a long time ago. I hope we all know that. We have the charging cable here, and this is USB-C, which to some people that's a big deal, like type thing. to me, it's not. I do like USB-C. It's just nicer because it's symmetrical and you can plug it in either way, up or down. But personally, micro USB, I don't have a problem with it. But it seems like everything. I mean, USB-C is the new thing. Not that it even is that new. It's like, boy, going on 5 years old now. But that was a tangent. Let's put that aside. That's the charging cord. I think this can probably, most controllers can be used as a wired controller if you don't want to hassle with pairing it up wirelessly. I'm going to test that hypothesis later. Excuse me. Anyway, here is the controller itself, and it looks like we've got a nice peely plastic thing on the top of this whatever you call it, kind of clearish black screen looking part of the controller. Let's just peel that off. And right off the bat, it's looking like it is what it says it is on the box, so that's good. Right up, I mean, I'm just gonna give it some first impressions. I think it feels good to me. Buttons feel, the face buttons feel great. And I really love the aesthetic here. The clear buttons have such a nice touch. That's one area that I think Nintendo has always been sort of lacking, is something that they should have done a long time ago, and they really don't do at all nowadays. And this is something that that Microsoft has kind of nailed with their Xbox controllers, is clear buttons. Man, they look good, and I can't stress this enough. They're just so nice to look at. I don't know what you all think. Let me know in the comments whether you think clear buttons are like the coolest looking thing on a controller. Like that was honestly part of why I bought this. I was hoping to find something with light up buttons, but anyway, enough of that. Let's see. So we've got. I do notice that the triggers, the Z, L, and ZR buttons back here. Well, first off, neither the L and R buttons nor the Z buttons are labeled. That's interesting. Not that, I mean, most of you probably aren't going to need them to be labeled, but I mean, for a beginner, you know, probably going to be looking around the controller seeing, oh, someone who's never picked up a Nintendo Switch controller before. Ralthy, you might want to think about that, but not a big deal for me. But back to what I was originally saying is, you'll notice that the Z triggers, it seemed like they were designed to be more analog, so like they just slide up and down. That it's not like, because I know all of the Nintendo Switch games only register. Well, the Nintendo Switch only registers a digital input from the Z triggers, which, I mean, as long as it works okay, as long as it's not too sensitive or not too sloppy feeling, I don't have a problem with sort of analog feeling triggers for the Switch. But like I said, we'll end up playing with this thing later on. And I really do like all the button placement on this thing. We've got our turbo and capture buttons down here, which, let's be real, those are probably not buttons that you're going to use very much. Please don't get mad at me if you use those buttons all the time. I have this habit of stereotyping and kind of expecting people to do what I do, which is not always a good thing. But anyway, so we have, I do like the button placement. Aesthetically, it's just a really nice looking controller. But anyway, I suppose I should hook this thing up and see how it works. I did hit the power button a minute ago, and I noticed that it did light up, so it's got some charge in it, so hopefully that'll be enough to get us going with some Mario Odyssey here, just to test this thing out. And you'll notice that most of the time I just play whatever is the major Mario game on whatever console whose controller I'm doing a review of. Boy, having trouble finishing this sentence. You'll notice that I usually play Mario just because that's kind of, usually the Mario games, whatever major Mario game there would have been on a console, there was on a console, say 64 had Mario 64, and they GameCube, Sunshine, we had Galaxy, and like, in my opinion, those are kind of those games were designed specifically for and on the consoles, their respective consoles, and they use most of them. Let me think about that now. Make sure what I'm saying is accurate. Yeah, most of them, or all of them, make use of all of the buttons on the controller, which I think is something very good for testing. But yeah, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. If you're gonna test a controller, just try the big major Mario game for the console that it was designed for. All right, I'm gonna try pairing this up by just from scratch here without the instructions. I'm just gonna try hitting the home button, and let's see if it works. And I'm waiting. Alright, so we got nothing there. Let me just dive into the instruction manual just for a minute. Alright, I think I've got it figured out. Let me find out if I'm right. So, if I understand the manual correctly, I am going to want to go into settings, settings, and I'm going to want to go down to you know what? Controllers and sensors. Change grip order. And now we're going to hold the home button for about 4 seconds. 3, 4. Okay, now it's blinking fast. Let's see if that pairs up. Okay, everyone. Sorry about that. I was able to get this thing paired. It was weird. It ended up. I turned off the console, and then hooked it up to the, I docked the console, put it in the dock, and then I plugged in the USB cable, plugged this into the dock with the console in there, and then turned the console on, and then hit the home button on the controller, and then it paired just fine. So that is what I would recommend trying, because that's what worked for me. I don't know, it might just take some, sometimes the controllers, they just take some finagling to get them connected. So anyway, excuse me, what I'm going to do now is, hopefully, yep, there it is. So, play me some Mario Odyssey and see how well this controller holds up. Sorry about that. Bumping the camera left and right. Alright. Man, this is such an unprofessional looking loading screen. Try playing with detached Joy-Cons. No.
Super Mario Odyssey!
Alright. Resume. Okay, I can feel the rumble. Feel the rumble. Feel the thunder. This controller has some pretty decent rumble. Okay, I do not want to be here in Hat Town. I got some moves, I suppose. Okay, anyway, I'm not talking about Mario Odyssey here. I'm talking about this controller. So far, no problems, but I haven't hardly even played the game at all. So, let's move on. Let's just set sail real quick. And the D-pad works on the menus. I'm going Metro Kingdom. And skip the cutscene. Sorry, if you haven't played this, if you haven't played Mario Odyssey yet, I'm probably giving you a bunch of spoilers here, but let's be honest, it's been out 5 years. By now it's kind of an old game, so if you haven't played it, well, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong not to have played Mario Odyssey, but you probably already know something about Mario Odyssey if you're watching this video. Just saying. Okay. So, let's just have some fun here. So, we have the R button, center behind me. L button does the same thing. Okay, I always forget about that. See, I'm not actually an expert. Okay, so Z buttons do the same thing. Oh man, it's been a while since I played this game. It's a great game. Highly recommend. But anyway. Okay, well, everything feels good to me so far. I do think the stick has this control stick has the slightest bit of a dead zone to it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I guess I haven't gotten this yet. Yep, I'm liking this controller. It feels pretty good. I mean, nothing really wrong with it, as far as I can tell. No filter, huh? Huh. Boy, I've never really taken a screenshot in this game before. That's kind of fun. Wow, look at that. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a good controller. It's worth not spending a crazy amount. Like, you won't, because it's a pretty cheap controller. I think it was like, oh boy, oh dear, I just fell down into the abyss. But anyway, this is a good controller. I like how the buttons feel. I like how the joysticks feel. Everything feels pretty, like it should. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this. This is a pretty basic feeling controller. Nothing jumps really out at me. I'm gonna try the turbo button really quick. I'm thinking, hey, whoa, I want to stay in this part. Okay, so let me just do that. Okay, so yeah, it always takes me some figuring out for this turbo button, but I think for this controller, the turbo only has one setting, and that's if you hold the turbo button and then hit whatever button you want to be pressed over and over again when you hold it down. So that's the way the turbo works. It's not going to give you any sort of there's no really varying speed, so it's a very basic turbo function. If that's something that really matters to you, might be worth looking for a different controller. This definitely isn't a pro gamer material, if that makes any sense. I would say this is definitely more for the casual player, which that is definitely me. And so I really think this controller is a good fit for my for what I was looking for. So yeah, hey, sorry, dude, get out of my way. What are you doing? Just jump on this guy's head real quick. Anyway, so yeah, that's about all I have. Hold on there, buckaroo. One thing I did notice after I, this is in the future, by the way. I'm traveling back in time. I have gone to the control stick calibration menu on my Switch, and moving my control stick around shows that it reaches the edge. It gets to the maximum threshold a bit before I hit the edge of the actual rim here of the joystick, which means that it's a little sloppy, and it's going to be hard to, and this is definitely something I noticed after I turned off the camera playing Mario Odyssey, is it's pretty hard to move slowly or to just tilt the stick a little bit, because if you have it halfway, it's pretty much already there at maximum input, and it kind of wants to snap to the 8 directions, horizontal, vertical, and diagonal axes. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not the most accurate joystick ever. Let's try the right stick and see if it's the same way. Yeah, it's definitely the same way. So something to keep in mind there. Also, I did not check the motion controls, which is something I will do right about now. Okay, so motion controls. Let me just try. Okay, so that works. Yeah, I mean, they work for Mario Odyssey's purposes. I'd have to try something a little more accurate, like Breath of the Wild, where you use motion controls to aim. But I'm thinking it'll probably be fine if you buy the controller. Go find out for yourself. No, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, I think... Let me just see if I can throw it off the edge here real quick. Okay, it seems like they're not the most sensitive motion controls ever. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess it's not a huge problem for Mario Odyssey anyway. That was close. Alright, anyway, that concludes this video. It's definitely... Okay, so, to clarify what I said earlier, this is definitely not... I don't like this as much as the Gaichi controller. I will put a link to that video right about here. And that is where you'll find my opinion about that controller, which I find an excellent controller. And I would recommend over this. Unless you want a controller that just looks cool, which, in that case, I would definitely recommend this. This is a very cool looking, nice, sleek design. And it is pretty ergonomic. It feels good in my hands, and the plastic honestly doesn't feel... It feels pretty solid. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's not like dollar store plastic. It's better than that. But anyway, enough said. I will call that good for this video.